Good evening, HC Nation. Yeah, we're not doing this. Okay, HC Nation, so we got another Stump the Creator for this Minisode Monday. And this one is about Yosun Shin. It's a rare card that came from last year's Create Your Own Card contest. And had a huge response. Actually, I'm quite surprised he didn't win. But here we go. This one is from Trace W. Hi, Zack. So, Yosun Shin says to take the opponent's coastal land that cannot attack Shin's land. What if, when you play Shin and name the land of your choice, but then someone plays Mount Vesuvius on that land? Does that mean you still take the land, but then discard it and lose 500 morale? Or does it mean that you don't take it at all? Okay, so we already know that Mount Vesuvius wipes out a whole country and everybody in it. At the same time, Yosun Shin gives you, and this is his ability, it says choose once, take one of your opponent's coastal land that cannot attack Shin's land. Okay, so a land that cannot attack Shin's land, or gain 700 morale points. Well, that's got to be a toss-up. Which one are you going to do? Are you going for morale or are you going for world domination? So in this question, what if, as soon as I call out that I get to take the coastal land, someone plays an interrupt of Mount Vesuvius and destroys that land? So technically, you took it as long as the person lets you take it first, and then plays Mount Vesuvius, which makes it so that you would lose the land automatically. Here's the thing, and I haven't gotten to this point, so I don't know if he talks about it in the next, because there's two parts to this. But say he gets some sort of amazing ability from the country that's like, just gives you 400 morale points or such. You would get that before the country's destroyed. So you would be able to claim whatever abilities that country had. If for some reason it says no event can destroy it, okay, there you go. Mount Vesuvius wouldn't win, but that's not the point. So the second part, so yes, you do get to claim the land. All the people go to the discard pile, and you can claim the land. The second part of his question is, this is what it says. Also, what if you have more than 2 players, and one of them possesses one of your lands, and that player reaches negative 2,000 morale? What do you get your land back? Okay, so I'm trying to understand this. So what if you have more than 2 players? So there's 3 players, and one of them possesses one of your lands, and that player reaches negative 2,000 morale. Do you get your land back? Okay, so this is totally separate. So going back to the first part, yes, you claim the land, you get negative 500 morale points, but you also get to claim whatever the ability is of that land before it's destroyed. That's the end of that question. I guess there's part 2, totally different question. This has been asked by a lot of people, and it depends on how you play the game. Before you start, you should really realize between the two players or 3 players how you're going to divvy up the cards at the end of the game. If you don't want to say for keepers, if you don't want to keep the cards afterwards, make sure that you keep track of which cards are yours. Or get some colored sleeves. Buy at the store, buy them from the website, get some colored sleeves so you know which ones are your cards and which ones are their cards. That way you can always distinguish whose cards are whose. Because at the end of the game, if someone goes out because of 2,000 morale points, you're going to get that card back. You can't put that back into play, because basically it's the end of the game that you get the card back. That land is then lost. If he loses that land, it's lost forever. You don't get to claim it back. It goes to the discard pile. At the end of the game, you divvy up the cards that were not yours and that were yours, and you claim those back. So Trace, I hope that answers your question. So first, Yosun Shin. Yeah, if you claim a land and someone all of a sudden either nukes it, Chernobyls it, or Mount Vesuvius is it, then it's gone, but you got to claim it beforehand. The interrupt is while you're taking possession of it, or right after you take possession, because as soon as you do that, you're taking possession of it. So interrupts, though they do interrupt an action as it's happening, if you're in the middle of something, might as well let it keep going. So if it's if the abilities actually stop or hold back the abilities, that's different. This is when something completely different affects the land. So I play a card down, I automatically get it. The interrupt is what then interrupts any kind of ability, anything that happens to me, or a process happens and then it interrupts it. It comes into play. So I see where the question comes into play, Trace. I see that you're saying, is it interrupting the actual action, or is the action done and then the interrupt card comes into play? It's a good question. I would say, for this instance, when you're claiming something else from another person and it's not attacking the opponent, and the opponent with the interrupt card is not interrupting something that's attacking them, then play it first and then hit it. So I'm guessing this is a precursor to another question that's about to come up, because I could see a few questions coming up from this. So shoot them my way. Well, let's see what happens as we go. I might have to step this back. I hope not, because I think it makes sense. There are a lot of cards out there, so please send me any questions that come with this, and we'll set them up on another Stump the Creator and see if we can overcome any opposing questions. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks again to Trace and Clayton and Wesley S, Dayton and Dane and Sean. This month has been full of your questions, and you are the most adamant when it comes to the getting as many questions in there as possible, especially Trace and Wesley S. And also a new one that just came in last week and has got a few more is Clayton. So the three of you, and actually the five of you, have done great with Stump the Creator. Please, anybody else, send in your questions. I'd love to be stumped. If you do stump me, I will pay up. Thanks again. We'll talk to you later. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.